As a child, Garou was unpopular and a social outcast. At school, while he was reading a book, a popular boy named Takchon and another student were playing heroes. After Garou tried to make Takchon realize it was dangerous to kick another student from high ground, Takchon declared Garou to be the new villain and himself as Justice Man. He tried to kick Garou dodged, but after Takchon missed and hurt himself, to which Garou apologizes. Takchon asked him what was he doing, pointed out that Garou was the monster, and then kicked him in the face while making others kids to restrain him. Later Garou tried to stand up for himself by making Takchon fight him to make him realize that he cannot bully Garou anymore. But the other children gathered around and started defending Takchon, saying it was just how the game works. Takchon then cowardly asked other children to pin Garou to the ground and called the teacher while running away. Garou noticed how Takchon was the one always smiling, liked by everyone, and was good at everything, even though he was a jerk, while Garou was alone, gloomy, and had no friends. When talking to his uncaring and unsympathetic teacher, he ignored Garou and simply lectured him on how he should not be fighting and what might have happened if it had continued, as well as reprimanding him for not distinguishing reality and game. After he was done, he forced the crying Garou to apologize and then notified his parents. Garou eventually snapped and began to see that heroes are nothing more than a bunch of bullies who are preying on the weak and outcast of society like him, while receiving praise from other people who equally hate the outcast. On another occasion, Garou watched the Justice Man TV show and was rooting for the villains to win. He became frustrated every time Justice Man comes and stops them. He asked his father when there would be a villain that could defeat Justice Man, but only to hear the negative. He believed it did not make sense, as he reasoned that the monsters the ones who are always trying their best, but no matter what, they were always killed off unfairly in the end simply because they are monsters. Unwilling to accept the status quo, Garou resolved to become the strongest monster and never lose, and to change the scenario. Sick of being a helpless kid throughout his childhood, he became determined to be stronger. Because of this, he decided to venture to Bang's dojo during his adolescence, traveling very far to meet the martial artist. When he arrived at the dojo, he rudely demanded to know if Bang was strong. Sourface intruded and asked who the arrogant child is. Garou passed out from the exhaustion of venturing to the dojo. Sourface asked Bang if he should throw Garou out, but the hero was impressed by Garou's determination, telling Sourface to feed him until he was full when he woke up. After this, Bang accepted Garou as a student, and Garou quickly became the top student in Bang's dojo. Garou, after the rampage at the dojo 6 months prior to the Super Fight martial arts tournament that Saitama attended, he decided that he has nothing left to learn and rampaged through the dojo, disabling many of the students, including Sourface. He then received a beating from Bang and was expelled from the dojo. While fleeing the dojo, Garou broke into a safe that contained the scrolls of secret techniques and got a grasp of exploding heart release fist. After his expulsion, Garou attended the super fight, disguising himself as Wolfman after incapacitating the real one and taking his mask. Garou won the tournament, although his identity remained unknown. Monster Association arc. Phoenix Man suddenly appears and creates immense air pressure that launches everyone and proceeds to grab Garou in the air, while calling for Elder Centipede to cover their escape. Despite Garou's protest, he cannot do anything against Phoenix Man as he is being escorted to the Monster Association headquarters. After being rescued by the Monster Association, Garou sees the association has captured Narinki's private squad to be put on trial, and the unexpected recruitment of a mysterious G5. During the trial, a voice in his head, presumably Psycho's, tells him to remain low profile until the trial is over. Once the trial is over, with Dues takes it to brainwash the captured private squad for the Monster Association's usefulness. Royal Ripper senses Garou's scent and tells him to reveal himself. Later, Garou speaks with Joro and the rest of the association's members, as well as its leader Orochi, who promotes Garou as one of the executive members of the association and send him to murder a hero in one day without hesitation in order to prove that he is a real monster. Unaware to Garou, Joro sends Royal Ripper and Bug God to keep an eye on Garou. If should he fail, a new group agrees with the monster outbreak. They attempt to capture a citizen for disagreeing with their ideology, but bump into Garou. Unfortunately for them, Garou knocks them out with a flick before heading off. As a news broadcast about society's downward spiral gets underway, Garou agrees with one of the anchor's co-hosts berating the citizenship for the shameful behavior displayed by the great many who are committing horrendous acts throughout various cities. Vacating to a nearby restaurant while a drunk delinquent gets in a fight with an elderly person, the human monster is quick to frighten the hooligan off when they try to threaten Garou with a knife. sitting alone ruminating on his disappointment with humanity as a whole due to the half measures of the Monster Association throwing society into chaos. Garou eats everything on the menu within the restaurant before dashing out. Later, Garou scares some boys who were bullying Terrio. Terrio thanks Garou for his heroism, to which Garou is disgusted by. Soon enough Saitama catches up to Garou and lets Garou off with a warning. This severely angers Garou, thinking that heroes have starting to take pity on him. He resolves to carry out his task by bringing back Saitama's head, but Saitama accidentally punches Garou, knocking him out. Sometime later, Garou wakes up and asks Terrio who the hero was. Immediately after that, Bug God and Royal Ripper confront Garou for not seeming like a monster. Royal Ripper approaches Terrio, to which Garou tells him to back off. Garou is seen assuming a stance in front of Terrio and forming a fist as Bug God and Royal Ripper approach the pair. Royal Ripper reveals that Gyoro had sent him and Bug God to follow and monitor Garou. After observing his behavior, they now have doubts about Garou's intent, questioning whether if he is a true monster or not. Garou then proceeds to provoke Royal Ripper to little use, as the latter then demands the former to kill Terrio. Garou then inquiries about the reasoning behind the request, to which Bug God replies that one must leave behind what makes them human in order to qualify as a monster. Royal Ripper reaffirms this statement and continues, adding the fact that Garou might not be the best candidate after being defeated by Saitama. Garou then proceeds to tell Terrio to go home, but he was unable to do so because of fear. Due to this, Terrio is berated by Garou, who then forces the hero catalog out of his hand, saying that the boy needs to get stronger during times like these. While doing so, Royal Ripper attacks Terrio. The attack is quickly stopped by Garou, who hoisted Royal Ripper up in the air by his blades and swiftly delivered a kick to his opponent's abdomen. Royal Ripper then flies into the air as a result, but is quick to get back on his feet by thrusting his blades onto the ground and perform a somersault with the two blades acting as anchoring points. The move severely disfigured his arms, but Royal Ripper restores his limbs back to their original state by twisting them back. Then, Garou yells at Terrio, telling him to run. The boy complies and is seen dashing away. As he is doing so, Royal Ripper announces Garou to be an enemy. Garou then assumes a stance as the two monsters charge at him. As the two monsters charge, Garou delivers a punch towards Bug God's torso. Unfortunately, this injures his own hand. Royal Ripper then performs a chain of frenzied slashes aimed at Garou, but they are all dodged or reflected. As Garou is busy with Royal Ripper's chain of attacks, Bug God approaches him from behind, but is bombarded with a flurry of deflected slashes originating from Royal Ripper. The monster is undeterred by this as he quickly pounds Garou into the ground and then flinging him onto electric cables, which briefly electrocutes Garou. Garou immediately rebounds himself towards the two monsters as they leap towards him. The three eventually enter a stalemate, with Garou now confident in his abilities to defeat his opponents, while the pair of monsters declaring to go all out. Garou is not discouraged by this, even going on to say that he has seen everything they have to offer and will not be hit by them again. It then transpires that Terrio was captured by sludge jellyfish. Garou is briefly distracted by this occurrence, so Royal Ripper brutally slashes him in the back and subsequently struck in the torso by Bug God before ultimately being assailed with a series of slashes, leaving him in a pool of blood. Bug God quickly puts a stop to the assault, explaining that Garou should be left alive. Royal Ripper ceases attacking but declares that it might be too late for Garou. He then invites Terrio back home with an eerie grin, saying that they will be great friends. After a while, Garou wakes up and is perplexed upon what happened at first before recalling fighting and being defeated by Royal Ripper and Bug God. He also realizes that Terrio was kidnapped by the monsters but brushes it aside while wondering how he managed to heal himself. Upon recovering, Garou then proceeds to the Monster Association HQ, while also seemingly undergoing a change in his body. Much later, Garou breaks into the facility just in time to save Terrio from Royal Ripper. Despite being stabbed in the gut by the monster, Garou punched Royal Ripper's head off with one blow, killing him in the process, before using the whirlwind iron cutting fist to shred the monster to pieces. He and Terrio then make their escape only to encounter two monsters who are quickly dispatched by Garou. The hero hunter devours one of the limbs of the monsters to replenish himself before proceeding with Terrio. As they make their escape, Terrio tells him that there is another child that is in need of rescuing, but that's not Garou's concern, and he did not come here to save Terrio either. However, before the two can continue, they are confronted by overgrown Rover. He and Terrio manage to not provoke Rover, but they encounter Super Mouse, Showerhead and Unihorn. While he manages to hold his own, the monsters accidentally injure Rover, and he proceeds to attack them. Garou fights Rover, and is knocked through the floor to where Joro resides. There, Joro restrains Garou with her psychic powers, and tells him that she wants to raise Garou into the most powerful monster through a special nurturing process. Garou denies it and begins to resist the psychic powers, a confrontation in which he manages to outmaneuver around all of her psychic powers at first, declaring that he will hunt Joro, and with the brain of the Monster Association gone, it will naturally collapse on itself. Seeing the need for aid, Joro enlists Orochi's intervention, grabbing Garou and crushing him. They battle and Garou uses Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist to defend himself. Garou is pierced, scorched, punched and thrown across the room. Garou proclaims that Orochi is not a true monster as he is missing one vital component, fear. Garou feels no fear from him, and moves to his fighting stance. Orochi copies him, and through their battle, Orochi has learned Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist. Garou mocks him, and they battle once more only for Garou to be knocked unconscious. So, we will see more about Garou in the next part. Subscribe the channel if you guys liked the video. Thank you for watching.